You're listening to Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission.
We're your hosts, Brandie and Natalie.
Did you know that what you wear actually can reflect on your business? Today we're meeting with Elizabeth Rose, and Elizabeth provides styling solutions to entrepreneurs so that they can look and feel their best when showing up both online and offline. We're going to be talking about the importance of your attire as an entrepreneur and how it actually impacts the work that you do. So enjoy. Hi friends, thank you guys so much for joining. I'm Brandie, one of the creators of Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising and this podcast, and we're passionate about helping women of faith align with their values and their business so that they can create a mission-driven business with a kingdom impact. And I am so excited to have my friend all the way from Hawaii. Aloha, Elizabeth.
Aloha.
Elizabeth Rose. And Elizabeth provides styling solutions to entrepreneurs so that they can look and feel their best when showing up both online and offline. So super excited to have you on here and talk about style and fashion, especially in this world of COVID when everybody's living in their sweatpants. So
I'm not gonna lie, I totally have a mullet style right now. It's like business on the top, pajamas on the bottom.
Yeah, I love it. I know.
I'm like, yeah, don't. So I think it's important to just, be authentically you. But yeah, I was like mullet style.
I love it.
it.
I had an appointment earlier today, and this is like the first day I've actually put jeans on, and I don't even remember when. It feels good. I'm still wearing them because I'm like, I'm doing a podcast, Facebook Live tonight. I'll dress up for that.
Yeah, and that's why style is important. People don't realize it boosts you. It makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You feel more confident, and you're just like, let's do this. So Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the fashion world, and about your background.
Well, I'm a third generation entrepreneur, and my grandmother, who I'm also named after, is, she was a fashion designer. She owned boutiques, 3 of them in our town. Awesome. And, I still remember back during like the 70s, they had real people in the windows that would, it was so cool. Like they'd have people that were just in the window, like mannequins do now. So yeah, it was like, I remember looking through her photos, and like as close as my aunts and all my cousins are, we'd always do like, whenever there was an event or something, we would do fashion, we'd all congregate and do fashion and stuff together. So I always wanted to follow in my father's footsteps as an entrepreneur. I always loved his ethics and his moral compass and how he did business. It was great learning it from him. I just learned watching because he didn't really think that women should be in business. However, I was determined to prove it wrong. And so that way, and also carry out my grandmother's legacy, something she started and really made me passionate about. So that is why I chose to do fashion. It's kind of been a childhood dream of mine. So when I started college, I went to school. They ended up putting in a college, which most schools don't have the program that I went through, which is a technical designer. It's a lot more in depth, a lot more like, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard. Like you wouldn't think fashion is hard, but it's very hard. Yeah. You got to know a lot of geometry, algebra, chemistry even. And I'm like, I know probably most people don't think that would fall into the category, but yes.
I can see that. I mean, you have to have the shapes with geometry to like cut different designs. And I don't know, maybe with chemistry, it helps you with like fabric colors.
Well, the chemistry comes in with like when you like for how the like protection of how fabrics burn and things like that. You need to do. I was so scared when we had to do like the burn test. I'm like, I don't like fires. Yeah. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. I was just worried I was going to set the house on fire.
Oh gosh.
With these fabric swatches. But luckily I think they were safe. They knew what they gave us.
Yeah.
Thankfully. But yeah, so it's just been awesome. So I got my degree. I've actually am an award-winning fashion designer for my own work. So I did take part in a lot of fashion shows, and I used to show my designs more. I don't do the design side as much anymore because it's just, a lot of people have asked me about that. It is very expensive and it's not practical to like manufacture stuff because you're taking a whole big team of a lot of people's jobs and putting it on one person, and it's just not practical. Like it would be like $800 a dress.
Oh my gosh. I can see now why stuff is so expensive though.
Yeah, you know what is? I would be so mad walking out of not Victoria's. I'm like walking out of Joanne Fabrics. We don't even have one here, so I'm like, wait, what's it called? But it would be like $300-$400 for one garment, and it's not even together yet. So I'm like, it's gonna, and that doesn't even include the time it took because I draft all. I don't know if have you ever sewn?
Yeah, I used to sew dresses and doll clothes. Yeah, so my mom taught me how to sew.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish my dad's mother was the seamstress, and I was so mad at him. I was like, Dad, why wouldn't you teach me how to sew? Like as I'm in college. I knew the like styling side and more so, but I had no idea what I was in for when I signed up for it. But it was awesome. I learned so much. And now I can actually do it. But I love drafting patterns. What you buy in the store. I make those from scratch.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's where a lot of the math and geometry comes in. It's about 3 pages of equations just to get started. Like I get asked on Quora a lot. Like, can you tell me how to make a top that fits me? And I'm like, well, you're gonna start with the book. Yeah. Even I don't know all of the steps. Like in the beginning, it'll give you this, but you're gonna need a book.
That's so interesting. I did not know.
A lot of people don't. I think I didn't even know what I was signing up for. I had no idea. I was like, what am I doing? Right. But I love it. Now I realize how valuable it is because I do know the whole process. I am a fashion expert as well in my industry. So I do know the whole process from start to finish. Like you might not know that it's changed a lot in the last couple of years, but fashion used to be what you were getting in the store was about designed anywhere from 8 to 10 years, maybe 6 to 10 years out, depending on the brand. So it was designed and put into production 6 to 10 years before you ever bought it.
Wow. That's impressive.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some problems? Before I ask this question, can you dive into a little bit more about like who you serve and how you serve them?
I will work with women or men, but I do love to work with women because I myself have struggled with, body image and feeling good about myself. And I just think it's so silly, like all of the, and I feel like kind of our industry has made, kind of made it look bad a little bit. But there is reasons to why there are those sizes. And I'm really happy that we're expanding out of it. But I just love to help to see someone come from so like unconfident and not feeling good about themselves and to watch them make that transformation. It really does come from within. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you are not authentically you, you're not going to show up authentically. It's not going to look right because you can't radiate that confidence that you're built, that you're actually getting to experience. It just doesn't shine through. So that is really a reward in and of itself. And as an entrepreneur, I know the need for confidence and being able to believe in yourself. And if you don't show up in that manner, people aren't going to believe in you either. You can't build that know, like, and trust. So I love to see all the boss babes crushing it right now. So I absolutely love to, be part of it and help. And I think it's important and it's awesome because women do have a lot of, responsibilities, as your post said earlier today. And now they're taking on, running their own businesses. And it's not as easy as everyone thinks.
No, it's not.
Do you ever think you watch Netflix all day?
No.
No, I'm just saying that's their mentality of that.
Oh, yeah.
You work from home.
Right. No.
And I'm like, what TD, what's that?
Yeah, right. What are some problems that your clients come to you with and that they're facing when it comes to styling for their life?
I think one of the biggest issues is that it is not, fashion isn't a one size fits all. It's really an individual system, and you've got to work with people as an individual. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to get into doing what I do right now with the consulting, because of my background and experiences and my own personal issues that I learned through school. To be honest with you, I had no idea why all these shirts were crop tops and they were supposed to, like, I'm like, it doesn't fit you there.
Yeah.
You know, and then I learned my torso is like 6 inches longer. So no wonder, but those things can make us feel like we're not good enough.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times buying the wrong, I always say just because it's in style doesn't mean you should wear it. And that goes for any size, anyone. It doesn't mean it's for you. You've got to really see what you're confident in. And people, like when I do closet makeovers and stuff, and I'll ask them questions, but I'm not really looking at them for the answers. I'm looking at how their body language is speaking to me. That's kind of how I gauge things, because that's what shows me. So it's things that people, it is the most powerful tool you have in your arsenal for, confidence and putting out an image and building recognition, but it's the most underestimated. So people don't realize like how important it is to understand, it's not a one size fits all. And that's kind of, I'm trying to think of the boxes, because I've gotten them all just to try them out a couple times. For the styling boxes, like Stitch Fix or something like that.
Yeah, I used to do Stitch Fix, and it didn't always, like, majority of the clothes I would send back because they wouldn't fit me, and I would try to tell my stylist what my needs were, and I was just like, this isn't working. I can do better just going to the store myself.
Right, exactly. See, and that's why I will only work with a limited amount of clients, because I want to give them, first off, I'm huge on customer service, and I want to really know my client and connect with them and understand where their issues are. So that helps me be able to do my job better. If I know what you're insecure about, there's an illusion, there's a way to hide things, and there's a way to draw the eye different places by using concepts and lines. And it's a lot more in depth than people realize. And it was so funny. Even my VA, we were going through some stuff, and I'm like, this is not information you can just give away to everyone. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hang on one second. I apologize. I'm getting a phone call.
That's okay.
So I was like, and don't post that on all things. Like that's not like free information. I'm just giving you it because I wanted to help you.
Yeah.
But it had to do with sizing and knowing, because a lot of places offer they market to women, but they clothes are junior because it's cheaper to cut them that way. And if you're buying a junior size, it's straight. It's not a missy, which women mostly have curves, and you have to go up about 2 sizes. And like that can be, people look at the numbers a lot, and I'm like, don't look at that number. Just put it on, and if it fits, that's what matters, because no one's going to be pulling your pants apart, like pulling your pants back to look at your size.
Right.
I assure you that.
That is a good point.
Pardon?
I said that is a good point.
Yeah, it's funny how we let those little things get to us, isn't it? And I did a blog post. It's actually been a little bit, but as we're preparing to launch the new site that's not done by me, fashion designer does not equate to a web designer.
Right.
Just save yourself the hassle. So way more in depth. So I had one, it's all 5 fashion hacks, to help you stay on trend. And it's good any time of the year, just to know, what tips, and size was one of the biggest ones. If it doesn't fit you, it's not going to look good on you. Yes. I promise. That goes for too big or too small. And that's a huge, big issue, is women that are not as confident. They tend to go up sizes and want to mask it, but they're adding a lot of volume and weight on them. And it's very, very opposite of what they're attempting to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of, like people that, and I get that you've got to, if you don't know these things, you're just not going, you're trying to just feel comfortable in it, but you really shine when you look in the mirror and you see like you're in something the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just, it's actually a proven science. The studies show if you feel good about the way you look, you walk taller, you carry your shoulders back more, and you exude confidence. That's scientifically proven. Mm-hmm. I'm not a scientist, but I read the studies.
Yes. Well, I totally believe that your confidence comes from within, and then your clothing and accessories just like enhance it and kind of bring it out from like outside in. Like you're confident inside, but your clothes are kind of like what you feel inside on the outside, if that makes sense.
I do know what you're saying, and let me help you with that. Okay, thanks. People misunderstand fashion and style. They're not the same. Fashion is garments of clothing. It's like a top, a pants. It's just material items. You can take the very same item and put it on twins and it can look totally different because you put your style on it and mm-hmm. your spin. And you need to kind of have your own, like it takes playing. I always say play dress up, be a little child, play dress up and put your stuff on because that's how you find out what works. Like it might seem effortless, but it's not. And, and you just want to do that in your spare time so that it's quick for you, Right. So that's, I put outfits together. I help them know how to mix and match. And it's really important to dress for like where you are. For example, my style's changed a lot since I live in Maui now. It's hard for me right now I'm like trying to be creative as far as how I'm showcasing stuff. Cause I know every other person in my industry does pictures of themselves, wearing everything. Well, it's not really practical for me to be buying all of these fall and winter items just so that I can model them for you. And it's also, there's not really many places to find them. So I've had to I've started doing different looks and putting them together. And just part of that is just education, and I kind of want to be different. I don't want to be the same person that shows, that does what everyone else is. So it's kind of forced me to move out of that area. But yeah, you don't have to be dressed up all the time. I was telling you before, I'm like, I've had a mullet style lately. Right. And I think we're all going through that. But I also don't own a pair of jeans either now. Because they're the most uncomfortable thing here. Like they just stick to you everywhere. And I mean, I think I may have a pair from when I was skinnier that has not ever, I never had worn them. Once, but I brought them all here because I used to be like such a denim, and my stiletto heels. I always had stilettos. Like I was on crutches. My doctor wanted to kill me, and I'm in 6-inch stilettos. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, but it's like you got to be appropriate for where you are too, So don't feel like it really is just it's a lot of educating and just helping them understand because they do need to feel confident. And when they are in the right things and the right colors, which is only when you try it, that's really what's important. So, I just love helping my clients be able to get to that spot where they're authentically themselves. I don't ever advocate copying other people's style. And that's a common one. They think I'm going to dress them in my style. And I'm like, nope, it's mine, please. But we'll find you yours. Yeah. I love that. I think that's key to know too. And that you have like your own style and that kind of becomes your brand. It's like your storefront for your business are like the clothing that you wear. And so do you have any tips since a lot of us are online right now and doing a lot of virtual conversations or Facebook Lives or Zoom calls, do you have any styling tips for how to show up on like camera? And, maybe you don't have any, but I just thought I would throw this question out there and ask you for like do's and don'ts maybe. I'm like, dude, this is all wrong. I happened to, I actually did some modeling as well. I had my one cousin I was telling you before, the double one, she was a photographer and I used to hate my picture taken. So I've kind of learned, and then also doing work in the mirror. As much as you want to be confident, and I'm always like, be authentic, but when it comes to like certain things, you do sometimes, like for photos or things that you're taking, they're likely going to be an uncomfortable pose.
Right.
So kind of look at yourself in the mirror. I'll just pull out my camera and record myself. I will sometimes do a test run. I feel like it's better to sometimes use simpler, like a pattern that's smaller is going to look better on film, or a solid, something that is appealing, like because if you get so much going on everywhere, and I'm kind of a simple person too, so that's just for me. But for cameras, it does work better. If you notice, if you look at people on the news and things like that, they have a more simple, more chic style, because that does come across better on film.
Yeah.
Does that kind of help with that?
Yeah, that is helpful. Well, good. I'm wearing the block, the blue and the gray colors.
I love that. I actually think it looks adorable when you like can dress like that. I think it's awesome because it looks great, and there's a purpose and a place for everything.
This is my style. This is my style. I've always been a little bit of a tomboy, I guess you could say. So this is my signature style brand. The side braid with the hat and like a sweatshirt on.
You know what is funny though is even the other day, I don't know if you saw in my stories, I did a whole bunch of filming and my sweatshirt was backwards.
I didn't notice that.
I called myself out on it in the stories just because I was like, even we make mistakes. Like I got through a lot of filming with this shirt on backwards. It just cracks me up because, like we're all like, fashion is kind of a trial and error thing. And that is one of the biggest things about it. And so I try to make it simple for people, my clients, because they just don't, especially entrepreneurs, we don't have time for all this.
Yeah.
I barely do. So, like that way I can have it ready. Like they can be ready in 10 minutes with looking well, like all done. And they feel good, and that's going to show up for them.
Yeah.
So, that's something I really, I think I like more the being able to help people understand, like fashion's not a one size fits all. You've got to understand that each body is different and, like the curves and knowing, how to follow it and mix stuff in.
No, I totally understand that with my own journey. Elizabeth, thank you so much for all the tips that you've shared with us tonight. I would love for you to let people know how they can work with you if they are struggling with confidence issues and struggling with like body image issues and want to know how to show up confidently online and offline and how they can work with you. And then I know you have an amazing charity story mission. And so if you could share a little bit about that as well before we hop off, I would appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. I am available at Ella Rose Design Maui on, that is my website, but I haven't launched the new one. It's coming. It should be this week or next. It's the designer. If anyone, you guys should understand, website. Right. So we're really close. So it's like this week or next. And so the site will be Ella Rose Design Maui, but I do have consultations you can book, and I'm giving away discounted prices, pre-launch. And you can also find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Ella Rose Design Maui, as well as Elizabeth Marie Rose. You can reach out to me either way. And then also I'm trying to think, I think I added it to my Facebook account where you could click the link to book an appointment. But I know on Instagram, that's what my link is right now, is to book for that. And it's like a Bitly one. So I'm sorry, I can't rattle that one out to you.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, so look for us. my old website, Hot Mess Express, is up still right at the moment, so you'll find stuff. Just I apologize in advance. So and as far as my mission, I wanted to do what I love. I think it's really important to be happy in life. Everyone strives for money. I personally think happiness is the goal.
Yes.
So I'm doing my dream, and I really believe due to an experience in college, I suffered some severe trauma, and I realized really how much it can affect your life. And I realized this sad situation that people are going through, and especially right now. So I will end stigma against mental health and trauma survivors. And I'm going to do that through educating. And, it's really important to me. Hopefully we can be in public again sometime in the near future, but public speaking and things like that, especially for our youth, and doing things like that. So I don't actually, just so there's no confusion, I'm not qualified to be a medical provider. However, I have a lot of vetted people, and hopefully as this grows, because a percentage of everything we bring in at Ella Rose Design Maui does go to fund a nonprofit to end stigma against mental health and trauma survivors, as well as getting people that need it help. And I share my story because I want young people, because there's so many that are affected right now. It's so important to me that they understand there is happiness after trauma. It takes work, but they can get through it, and they are no different. Or, we all had a hard time as a young one. So it's too bad that they feel they can't go to anyone. And I just am hoping that being in the fashion industry and that I can reach more of them. And I feel like that's important. So I'm hoping that I'll bring in, some education to some of the younger ones and try and help add value for them and save their lives.
Yeah. I love that. Mental health is definitely something that I'm very passionate about as well, because of my own journey. And so I think it's just awesome that you're advocating for that. So thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, just for all of your tips on fashion and style, and illuminate me on the difference of those, and just for taking the time tonight. So thank you so much, everybody, also for listening, and have an awesome night.
Yes, thank you. Mahalo. Aloha.
Rise Your Purpose will be a weekly podcast. Our hope is to inspire and educate you on your entrepreneurial journey to help you fuel your passions, live your purpose, and build a business that works for you.
You can subscribe, rate, and comment on any podcast app. We'd love to hear from you. It makes us so happy to see you tuning in to the show. So if you're on Instagram, let us know what your favorite part of the show was by taking a screenshot of the episode you tuned into, and tag us at Live Victorious on your story. Let us know what your favorite quote or takeaway from the episode was, so that we can be inspired to keep creating content like this for you.
To learn more about us and get involved with our community of mission-driven entrepreneurs, join our Facebook group, Purpose Partners, where we partner together in faith and business. So until next time, build a business that works for you and stay in alignment with your mission.